Hello, hello, welcome to another Pilates workout with me, Charlotte Russell. I hope you're ready. All you'll need is a mat, no equipment today, and a smile. And if you haven't got a smile, hopefully you will by the end of the workout. So we're just going to stand with our feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. And we're going to zip up the tummy muscles as if you're wearing tight trousers. Soften the knees a little bit and just raise the right heel without bending the knee too much. Just keep it soft and then raise the left heel. Keep the tummy in. Try and keep your upper body straight and still. So you should feel the hip going up, the hip bone on each side as you raise that heel. As you raise the heel, and feel that hip bone going up, can you squeeze your bottom on the side of the lifted heel? Again, just try and keep your upper body still. So we're just keying into those glutes there. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Try and keep your knees soft. Don't lock the knee joint, but we don't want to bend it. So finish with one on the left. Lovely. And keeping those knees soft, just send the hips round in a circle. When you get to the front, change direction. So we're moving the pelvis around, both in this move and in the other one. Just getting the lower back a little bit warm. So one more going each way. Again, trying to keep your head and shoulders and trunk of the body really still and the tummy muscles in, and remembering to breathe. And then we rock and roll the pelvis. I'm just going to show you from the side. So tip it forwards there by sticking out your bottom, and backwards there by doing a scoop. And then find the midway point between the two. Again, zip up the abs, roll the shoulders back and down a few times. Keep breathing. Lovely. Make sure your upper body isn't leaning backwards or forwards, so try and stay vertical. Now settle the shoulders back and down. Bend the arms, keeping the elbows close to your body, palms facing the ceiling, and just move the lower arm outward, keeping the body still, breathing, making sure the shoulders don't come up. You feel a little bit of tension here in the upper arm, but you're opening up the chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together, keeping the knees soft. Lovely. Now turn the palms down and bring the arms back by your side. So now into knee raisers. When you land, make sure you position the feet where they were before. Keep the tummy in, and definitely don't slouch into the hip on the supporting leg side. So you've got to keep those hip bones level. Breathing in to lift, keeping the feet relaxed, controlling on the way down as you exhale. Good. Now keeping the trunk of your body vertical, raise the knee, extend the leg. You can keep it low, bend it, and then replace, feet hip width. So try that on the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you'll notice when you extend the leg, it's more comfortable probably to lean backwards, but really don't do that. Keep your upper body vertical by anchoring it with your abdominals. Inhale there, exhale there. Let's add some arms. So both arms come in front, and then as you extend, they go wide, and then in front again, and then down. Remember, you're not slouching into the supporting hip. You're trying to rise up out of that pelvis through the core, so the top of your head gets closer to the ceiling. Keep the movements flowing. We'll just do one more on the left. Breathe in. Stand tall out of that right hip. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lovely. Bending the knees into a chair squat. So I'm just going to show you from the side. We pretend there's a chair behind us and aim our bottom diagonally downwards towards it, keeping those shoulders back, keeping the tummy in. So it's not this and it's not that. You should feel the weight in your heels. So as a challenge, when you come up, just lift the heels into a balance. So the weight's in the heels there, knees behind the toes, and the weight's in the balls of the feet there. Maybe you can take the arms behind as you come into your balance. Inhale, exhale. Just one more. Sit down, shoulders back. Exhale and replace. Lovely. Give the legs a shake. Return to your Pilates stance. Bring the arms in front. And then with your right arm, you're just going to bend the elbow and pull it slightly behind the body. allowing your chest to turn to follow it. Bring it back to center and lower, keeping those knees soft. Same here. Just allow the chest to follow that elbow that goes behind your body. So breathe in, breathe out. And each time you do it, you can rotate a little more. Inhale, exhale. So we're turning the chest and the head together. So your nose always stays in line with your breastbone. Now the key is to keep your hips facing the front. Hips face the front. So if you're letting your hips turn, you're not getting that movement of the spine, of the lower spine. Breathe in, breathe out, hips face the front. Breathe in, breathe out. One more. And then we're going to try and combine this with our chair squat. So let's take the chair squat, hold. Now pull back with the elbow, rotate, back to center, stand up. Inhale, exhale. Feel that movement at the waist. You don't have to turn a lot, just a little bit, whatever works for you. But it's really difficult to keep the hips facing the front. Tummy muscles stay in. Make sure you're not feeling it in the knees. You want to, when you're in your squat, feel that body weight in your heels. Just one more each side. And the last one here. Keeping those shoulders back. Don't let them crowd or hunch round. Lovely. And stand up. Taking the heels together. Hands across your chest. Step out to the right, bending both knees. Push back. Change sides. So when you're in this side squat, you're symmetrical, like that. Both knees bend the same. Keep going. It's quite tempting to stick out your bottom and lean forwards and tip your pelvis forward when you go into one of these side squats. Try not to do that. Let's add some arms. So keeping the shoulders down. When you go to the right, bring your hands together at the top of your head and then back by your side. Same to the left. So the knees and toes are turned out. The shoulders, try not to shrug as you go into that prayer position above your head. So keep the shoulders down. Tummy muscles in, remembering not to stick out your bottom. You can go more slowly if you prefer, and you don't have to step as deep. Now hold it here. Let's tilt the body over. The aim is to keep the hands directly at the top of your head when you tilt from the waist. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Hold the lower body still. Breathe out. Use your tummy muscles to bring you back. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we're not moving the hips when we tilt. We're anchoring the hips still with our abs, with our core. Legs stay still as well. It's hard. If you've had enough, just stop. But otherwise, we'll finish with one to the left. Remember, keep the hands directly above the top of your head if you can. And bring it in. Separate. Give the legs a shake. Come to the back of your mat. Imagine tram lines in front of you. Step forwards with one leg along that tram line and lift the heel at the back. Gently push forward through that hip, feeling a little stretch. Tummy muscles in, hip bones level, push back. Change legs. Same thing, making sure the front knee doesn't go over the toe. If you've gone too far, you'll tend to lean forwards, and it'll be because you haven't bent that back knee and you're not pushing through that back hip. Push back. Okay, let's add arms. I'm going to turn and face the front. We bring the arms in front. Lovely. And then we take them wide as we hold that split squat position. It's quite hard to say. And then bring them back in front and then push back. Let's change legs. 1. So try not to wobble your hips around. 2. Nice stretch through the chest. 3. Push back using your tummy muscles. 4. Okay, so let's go again with the original leg. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keeping it smooth. Inhale, exhale. It is quite hard to balance, as I'm discovering. Inhale and exhale. One more each side. So each time you do it, you can maybe go deeper or not. That's completely up to you. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the tummy muscles in. Make sure you keep the pelvis steady. Lovely. Back to the original leg. Slightly different. You can have a look or you can join me. So we go into our split squat, but instead of just taking the arms wide, we're going to push up off that back leg into a balance here, squeezing the bottom on that back leg. Back into your split squat as the arms come in front, and then you push back. Let's try the other leg. 1, feel the stretch in the hip, bending the back knee. 2, leaning forwards, keeping the shoulders back. 3, and push back for 4. Let's try that again. Breathe in here. Breathe out. So you're leaning forward to match the back leg. Breathe in and breathe out using your tummy muscles. Last one. Squeeze the bottom as you lift that back leg. Keep the back leg straight. Try and relax your feet. Bend the back knee and push back. Lovely. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Scoop your pelvis. Curl around, hunch round, tummy in, stretching into your back. Stay there. Now go all the way to your feet and even the floor. Allow your shoulders to droop forwards. Soft knees. Pick up your hands and grab the opposite elbow here. And just allow your upper body to sway in a very controlled way. Keeping the tummy in. If you'd rather put your hands on your thighs, that's fine. Try and keep your hips still. So the legs and hips stay still. Bring it back to centre. So you can keep your hands on your thighs or keep hold of your elbows. Push forward through the pelvis and roll up, keeping the chin down by your chest. And as you come up, just roll those shoulders back. Bring your elbows above your head. So you're still in that position. And just tilt here. So try to bring your shoulders down. Don't hunch them. If you'd rather have your arms by your side or across your chest, that's absolutely fine. Lovely. Bring it back up to the top, keeping the hips facing the front. And we're just going to rotation here. Again, shoulders down. Nose stays in line with your breastbone because you're rotating from the waist. Keeping the hips facing the front. Keep the breath flowing. Bring it back to centre. Bring your arms down. A couple of shoulder rolls here, and we're going to take it to the floor. So come to the front of your mat. We're going to take the arms up high, feet are hip width on those tram lines, shoulders down, breath in, knees soft. As you exhale, chin to chest, trying not to let your shoulders come forward this time. Try and keep them back and down as you curl down through the vertebra. Hands on the floor, keep your knees bent. Step back with your least favourite leg, mine's my left, along the tram line, and then keeping your shoulders above your hands, step back with your other leg into a plank, keeping your bottom flat and your shoulders back and down. Really pull the tummy in and breathe. If this is too much, drop onto your knees, lift the feet, walk the knees back a bit so your bottom stays flat, and there you are in your 3/4 plank. You might prefer to be on your elbows, especially if you're on your knees as well, because it's just easier, but you can be on elbows and feet. Okay, so whichever one you've chosen, make sure you're not slouching into the shoulders. Really use those shoulders to keep them back and down. Use your chest, use your upper arms, use the strength of your core. Keep working, keep breathing, very important. If you've had enough, just gently bring it down and come up onto your hands and walk back and sit back in child pose here. If you're still planking for a little longer, that's fine. Just make sure you breathe. When you're ready, we're going to come onto all fours. So keeping the shoulders back and down, the knees under the hips, the hands under the shoulders, back of head in line with the spine. We're going to extend one leg and make sure you don't sway over. And we're going to use the bottom to take the leg over the other one and then out wide. Now you can allow your hips to wiggle a little bit and follow that leg if you want to, but try not to move the chest and shoulders. Make it harder. The opposite hand comes into a salute. So the opposite hand to the moving leg. Harder still, try not to move your hips now. So just move the leg. Doesn't have to go very far. Really lengthen it and keep that breath flowing. Keep those shoulders still. If it's too much, put your hand back down. Don't over-challenge yourself. Bring the leg back to centre, slide the leg in, and if you need a breather for those wrists, just take one here. Back into position when you feel ready. So we're going to extend the other leg, keeping the shoulders steady, making sure you're not leaning. The key is to stay centered. So using the glutes to lift the leg across the other one and then out as wide as you feel comfortable. Now let the hips kind of do their thing. Let them follow. Make sure you don't tense your foot. You don't want to get cramp. Make it harder. Pick up the opposite hand and salute and keep it there. And then think about keeping the hips still. So don't let the pelvis go with the leg. Stay strong. Put your hand back down if you need to. When you feel that you've done enough, just gently bring it in. And let's take a cat stretch. Scooping, rounding, taking a bit of weight out of the wrists actually. Pulling in the tummy, chin to chest. Very good. Let's come on to our sides. So positioning yourself on your side, up on your elbow, feel free to roll your mat if you want a bit of padding for that elbow. The knees are bent, the feet are behind, the thighs are in line with the body, and we're not slouching into that shoulder. The head's diagonal because the body's diagonal. And this area here that's touching the mat, I want you to not slouch into it. You don't want a curve here, you want a straight line. So imagine it's quite hot and it's burning your outer thigh and hip, so you don't want to press into it too much. Pull it up into the core. Lovely. Shoulders back and down. Extend the arm. Lift a little more if you feel you can, and then bend the elbow and thread it through the gap and turn the chest, not the hips. The head can follow the chest, and then back up. If that's enough, that's fine. Just come down gently and push yourself up. Give your shoulder a bit of relief there by rotating it. But if you feel you can do this again, so we extend and lift as far as you feel comfortable, not too far. You don't want to come out the top, just stay in line. And remember, strong shoulders, rotate. You might be able to stay up here for a few. Really anchor those abs, anchor those shoulders. Keep the pelvis steady. You're not turning the hips, you're just turning the upper body. It's a tough one, so you don't have to do lots on the bounce. Just do a few, a couple, even one. And then when you're done, just come up and rotate that shoulder. Let's switch it round. Thighs in line with the body. Feet are behind, head diagonal because your body is, elbow under your shoulder. Make sure you don't slouch, you want a straight line. So think of it being really burning hot there, so you're pulling up into your core. Lovely. Lift a little more, maybe, just not too high. Okay, so we're going to bend the elbow and rotate from the waist and then back. That might be enough. If it is, put your hand down, come up, take a breather. You can go back into it if you want to at any point. So, rotate. Don't overdo it. It's a tricky one. I noticed I was clenching my hand then. So I'm feeling that movement at the waist. I've got my shoulders strong and back and down. My abs are in. And my head is turning with my body, not on its own. And when you've had your fill, just come down without sinking into the shoulder. Use your other hand to bring you up and rotate. Well done. So next we're going to work the back. So coming down, making sure that you don't shrug as you go down. So bend your elbows, use your tummy muscles. And when you get to the floor, place your hands just in front of you in a comfortable position. Shoulders back, back of head in line with the spine. Relax your bottom, relax your legs, keep your feet on the floor. We're going to lift the chest and push gently into the hands. So you're coming up further than you would do normally if your hands weren't there. And then slowly lower back down. Keeping those shoulders back. Let's come up again. Just extending the spine, looking towards the front of your mat. Just turn your head one way. And then back to centre and the other way. And back to centre, a breath in. And as you breathe out, come back down. This time you might not want to come up as far because we're going to hold the lift, keep the head still, and then remove the hands. So it's really hard to stay lifted. Breath in, and as you breathe out, lower. Bring your hands in front. This time, lift. And instead of taking the hands into the lower back, just extend them forwards with the palms up. Try not to shrug, keep your shoulders back and just stay here and breathe. Now lower, and when you get there, squeeze your bottom and lift the legs, keeping the knees soft. Breath in as you breathe out, lower the legs. Breath in as you breathe out, lift the chest. Breath in as you breathe out, lower the chest. Breath in as you breathe out, lift the legs, squeeze the bottom, soften the knees. Okay, let's try and make that a little bit like the base of a rocking chair. So as the chest and arms go down, the legs come up. And as the legs go down, the chest and arms come up. It's tricky. When you've had enough, put your legs down, lift your arms and upper body, breath in, and as you breathe out, replace. Push up, try not to shrug, use the tummy muscles and walk the hands back. Come back into child pose. So, feet to the front of the mat. Take a pelvic scoop and allow yourself to drop back, pulling in the tummy. So find a comfortable position where you feel like your abs are working, but your thighs aren't joining in, and just hold it here. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the hands behind to start with, bending the elbows so you don't shrug. And I just want you to pick up your right leg and extend it forwards and bend it and replace. Try and keep everything else still. Pick up the left leg, extend it, bend it. Try not to use your thigh muscles. Try to use your abs and replace. Okay, let's try that with the hands across the chest. If that's too much, put your hands back behind you. So really try and use the tummy muscles, not the thighs. Okay, put your hands back behind. Try both legs. You will have to lean back probably as you extend your legs. Just don't shrug. So let's try that again. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You don't have to fully extend your legs. You can just partially extend them. And for those of you that feel able, try it without any hands behind. We don't want the tension in the back, so put your hands back behind if you're feeling it in the back. We want the tension in the core as much as possible. And then if you want to add arms, you can. Bring them in front as you lift, pull back as you extend, bring them in front, lower. So here's a way that you can make it easier. Opposite arm to leg. So that you've always got one foot on the floor. So choose your level, whatever works for you. Keep all the tension in the tummy and nowhere else. And when you're done, just take a breather, take a stretch. We're going to take it to the floor. So scooping your pelvis, vertebra by vertebra, scooping out the abdominals. Higher arms all the way makes it harder. Don't tense your thighs, don't tense your shoulders, and don't forget to breathe. Step your feet in, hug the knees into the chest, and take a bit of a stretch here. Lower body rotations next. So we're going to bring the legs into tabletop, but keep the knees and feet together. Knees above your hips. Try to flatten out that curve down through your tummy muscles. Arms out wide, shoulders back, looking at the ceiling, and just allow your hips and legs to rotate one way and then the other. Trying to keep the knees bent at right angles. So the lower body rotates, but the upper body stays completely still. So both shoulder blades on the floor if you can. The narrower you bring your arms, either down by your side or above your head particularly, the harder it is. You can even put your hands across your chest, which is super hard. Let's take the knees over to one side, and the leg that's out widest, just extend that. Bring it back into a bent position, bring it back to center. Go the other way. So shoulder blades on the floor, extend the leg that's furthest out wide or slightly underneath, and then bring it back to center. Let's try with both legs. You may not be able to rotate your body as much. Keep your breath flowing, keep your shoulders relaxed, keep looking at the ceiling. Now, I'm pressing into that arm. I can feel that my arms are helping me, so I'm going to bring my hands across my chest and try and see if I can do it without my hands on the floor. and without tensing my shoulders, trying to keep all the tension in my tummy muscles. Whoa. It's a balance because you're trying to use your core to keep yourself centered, which is a recurring theme in Pilates. And when you're ready, bring your feet to the floor using your tummy muscles the whole time, all the way down. So hands here might help. The straighter you have your legs, the harder it is. Find your level. When you land the feet, you can then relax and take a breather. Scooping the pelvis, knees bent, feet on the floor, palms up, pull in the tummy and lift the upper body, lifting your head and shoulders off the floor. Roll your shoulders backwards. Look at your knees. Try to bring your diaphragm closer to your pelvis. So think about not just lifting, but contracting. That's right, lovely. So try and keep the neck and shoulders nice and relaxed. Okay, let's extend one leg in the air and keep the other foot on the floor and the knee bent. Lift and lower. Exhale, inhale. If you need to, put the opposite arm to the lifted leg behind your head. Allow the head to rest in that hand. Good. And bring it down. Stay lifted. Put the other hand behind your head, or if you didn't have any hands behind your head, put both behind your head. Try and stay lifted. Breath in as you breathe out, lower. Okay, bring the hands back round. Let's do that again. So scooping the pelvis, pulling in the tummy, lifting, trying to reduce the distance between your rib cage and your pelvis. Think of a scoopy U shape. Roll the shoulders back. Each time you roll backwards, see if you can lift a little higher. Lovely. Okay, so other leg in the air and the opposite hand behind your head, and allow the head to rest in that hand. You don't have to put your hands behind your head. We're going to lift and lower. It's just if you feel it going to your neck and you need somewhere for your head to rest. So we're not pulling on the head. That's not why we've put the hand there. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. The leg doesn't have to be really straight. You do have to use those abs, not your shoulders. Try and relax your shoulders. When you've had enough, lift, bring the leg down, put both hands behind your head, breath in, stay lifted for a couple of seconds. And as you exhale, bring it down. Beautiful. Let's extend into that X stretch, allowing the knees and toes to flop outwards. Keep your head on the floor, bring your chin towards your chest a little bit. Then bring the chin back up. Then step the feet in. We're going to bring the arms round here. Scoop the pelvis, so arms by your side. Breath in. As you breathe out, let's lift. And this time, can you bring yourself all the way up to sitting? So you might need to walk your feet further away. To make it harder, arms up by your ears. Well done. When you get to the top, let's take the legs wide. Soften the knees. Roll the knees and toes out and just walk your upper body, your hands forwards, keeping your shoulders back. Try and lead with your chest, not your shoulders, not your chin. Hold. Walk your hands back, sit tall, bend the knees, bring the legs around the back. We're going to come up to standing. So onto all fours, tummy in, shoulders back, tuck the toes under. Lift the knees, poke your bottom in the air. Press your heels towards the floor. Shoulders drawn away from your ears. So slide your shoulder blades down your spine towards your bottom, head between your arms. Now bend your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. Heels down, scoop your pelvis, tummy in, chin to chest, and roll up. You can keep your arms low or you can bring them up with your ears. But as you're coming up, draw your shoulders away from your ears. When you get to the top, just place the hands in the small of the back. Keep the knees soft. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to stretch out your chest. And release. Roll the shoulders back a couple of times whilst breathing. And bring your arms out wide, slightly behind the body to stretch the chest and in front. I do hope you enjoyed that Pilates workout. If you did, do subscribe to my channel. You'll find lots of exciting things on here to do with well-being. Share the video with your friends, tell them about my channel, ask them to subscribe too. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.